Welcome to Boomhauer69 channel, and today I want to talk about what I would do for a alternative backup electrical system or off-grid system, because I plan on in the near future building like some sort of small micro tiny house type setup, and what I'm thinking about for a backup alternative setup. Now this here is the Amazon page of the Renegade company. Renegade here, they make all different types of solar panels and some solar batteries and power chargers, inverters and stuff. And they make different types of chargers, controllers, and more here. They even make premium kits, suitcase, flexible kits, whatever. And from what I've been reading about their product is, and the research I've done and watching other people's videos on YouTube, and because I watch a lot of people who live off grid and people who live in RVs. Like I watch Bob Wells' Cheap RV Living. I watch a guy called Solar Cabin that lives off grid. I watch a lot of, and even people who build tiny houses. I watch a lot of that stuff. And a lot of them use Renegade brand solar panels. And from the research I have done, Renegade's about one of the best solar panels out there you can get. And right now, I don't know a whole lot about solar stuff. I'm not no professional person out there. But from the research I've been doing, I would definitely be right now, if I was to purchase, was kindly going to buy solar panels, I would definitely go with Renegade. From the research I've been doing, it seems like they would be the best route to go, and I would give them a try and buy their solar panels and build a solar setup. Now, what I'm thinking about doing is for a solar setup is, again, I would get these right here, the Renegade style solar panels, all different types of ones. I would first figure out what are my needs, figure out what solar panels would I need to do what I need to do with the electricity. Because that's one key important you got to remember with solar and stuff and kind of going off grid and all this stuff is you got to look at what you're going to be using on the system you're building to make sure it can power those things. Because if you don't got the wattage, you can definitely ruin your system, ruin your electronic devices or whatever, if you're trying to run an electric refrigerator, you're going to need a lot of panels, and if you ain't got the proper setup, you can ruin your refrigerator, ruin a lot of things. Now, for refrigerator units, they also make some refrigerator coolers and stuff that take less wattage than a regular normal refrigerator would take, and they have other products out there to help with refrigerator systems for smaller solar setups. And what my plan is in the near future is, I thought about, for right now, because I'm planning on thinking about building a little small, tiny, off-grid little micro house just for the fun of it, get some scrap wood and some lumber and kind of build something and kind of, so I would go with just for the fun of it, not something that I necessarily would actually live in full time, just for the fun of it, build a little goof around thingy, basically turn a shed into a tiny house is what I thought about goofing around doing. So I would definitely look at purchasing Renegade solar panels, because right now this is about, from what I've been seeing, about the best panels out there you're going to get, so I would highly purchase them. And then, instead of doing like some people would do, getting batteries and a power inverter and going that route and setting up a stationary one, I thought about going with one of these here, Blue Eddy style, power stations here, portable power stations. Again, I might not necessarily purchase the Blue Eddy because they're really expensive, and if I'm just going to kind of goof around, I'm not going to probably spend a whole lot on those, but look at something that would be just as good, like the Jackeries. I know about those, and then there's one called Generarch, and my idea is get a good quality solar panel like the Renegade, and then a pretty decent quality portable power station that would suit my needs for this little off-grid idea I have, And that's what I'm currently would do. Now, both ways I say are good, whether it's going with a power station or building your own little setup, buying your own batteries and your own power inverter. Because what I'm thinking about doing is I would get one of these kits here, maybe a 200 watt or 100 watt setup, whatever. Again, I'd have to look at what would I be doing with this structure and different things. But I would probably maybe minimum 200 watts. And then I'd just get one of these kits that have that comes with your panels and your controller here and the cables, of course, and the mounting hardware, where you'd have to supply one of the kits where you would have to supply your own battery and your own power inverter. And so what I would do is just look into a power station and then connect that to some decent quality solar panels. And then go that route for the structure I would be building. Again, I haven't got all the details worked out of what I would be running off this system, so I'd have to really plan ahead, okay, how much wattage am I going to be using? How much is the stuff I'm going to be using? How much is it going to draw? Most likely what I would be running off in it is just lights and maybe a small, smart device, like a small tablet or smartphone probably, and so I wouldn't need a whole lot there if that's the route I would do. But again, going with these power stations like I'm planning on doing, the only downfall is you really can't customize the setup. Like when these break and these batteries finally give up, because your batteries only got so many cycles from what I've been running. Your batteries only have so many life cycles and that's where where you run the battery completely dead, if you keep doing that multiple times, running it down to dead where you gotta recharge it, won't turn on, won't do anything because the battery's completely dead, you gotta full recharge it. You only get so many cycles before the battery finally won't recharge and do anything. So with these types of setups though, you can't just go out and replace the battery and then be good. You gotta buy a whole new power station. You just take this and throw it out and recycle it or whatever, and you have to get your whole new setup. Now the thing with customized setups, like going with a power inverter and battery setup, you can just disconnect your power inverter and just replace the batteries, if you're gonna go that route. But the reason why I'm thinking about going with a power station and a solar panel, one of these power stations, is it's not going to take up so much room and your battery and all in one room, because it would be space. It'd be a space saver thing. It would save on space. That's why I'm planning on going this route for something and stuff for the solar setup if I was going to. Now, I might not necessarily purchase just Blue Eddy. I might find something that's a little bit more in my budget and would fit my needs just as beautifully, but I wanted to show off what the higher end Blue Eddies are like. This one here, this is like their top of the line, $5,000, their $1,000, $1,500 one here. This is like their top of the line Cadillac. Here, I'll click here, and it's a 2,000 watt capacity, as you can see here. And now Blue Eddy makes one of these that you can have multiple batteries hooked up to it. So you have the actual built-in battery, and then you also can purchase external batteries. I was watching Bob Wells' Cheap RV Living, and I'll put a link in the description for his video on these Blue Eddies so you can watch them. And he did a super good job talking about the Blue Eddy. He's well educated on this stuff, better than I am. But yeah, what I'm going to be doing is a power station and a good quality power station that would fit my needs and a good quality renegade. Now, if I was going to with the Blue Eddy, as of right now, what I'm kind of thinking I would need for power, I'd probably go with one of these little $500 little 800-watt peak, little smaller budget ones, you know. That's what I think would, as of right now, off the top of my head, what I think would probably fit my needs, you know. Again, I would have to do more research on what I'm planning on doing, and as I get more funding, I'm going to do more and more jotting down notes and getting it all planned out in my head. You know, basically it's going to be one of those things where build the structure first and then see what all I want to do, you know. But yeah, I just got to, for that, get my game plan down. But yeah, as of right now, what I would say to do is, as power station, and find you a good power station, and again, some good solar panels. If you, and again, doing this, hooking up, going with just a portable power station like this, or a Jackery, or a Generac, or whatever brand you think would fit your needs, and then solar panels. It's going to be a lot easier to set up, and you won't have so much hassle trying to figure out can my solar panels handle the batteries. Because if you go the other route where you're building your own setup, where you're buying your batteries, your power inverter, all that stuff, you got a lot more headaches to deal with. You got to figure out can your solar panels handle charging your batteries that you purchase? Can your power inverter handle what your batteries can put out, or whatever, because obviously if you got big giant batteries, from my understanding, if you got big giant batteries and you're hooked up to a certain type of power inverter, you could potentially wreck your power inverter and stuff. And then on top of that, you gotta add fuses, which I forget offhand where you're supposed to add your fuses to your setup, so yeah, you definitely gotta be careful with that, So for me, as of right now, since I'm a beginner and I don't know a whole lot, I would probably just simply good quality solar panels and then maybe a good quality power station for my backup off-grid living, whatever the case I plan on down the line. Because right now I am thinking about building like a small little micro cabin, tiny house, maybe out of wood pallets, some, scrap lumber, see what I can come up with, and build the structure first and then see what kind of solar setup I truly want to add to it. Because as of right now, it's just a thought idea that I'm planning on doing. It's not like something set in stone, and right now, what I would build, I would not make it a permanent residency. I wouldn't actually live in full time. I'd probably build the structure and then give it away to somebody in need. Maybe that's probably what I end up be doing. So it would all in all, or if I did keep it, I don't know. So it's one of those. Right now, I don't know what setup would be good. I have to do some further investigating, but yeah. But basically, whatever solar setup you do go with and stuff, I would recommend really looking at what your needs are. I'm just doing this video to share my thoughts and what my kind of idea is with a solar setup. So yeah, you really gotta look at what are you going to be running on the system. As same with me, I'd have to figure out what am I going to be running on the system. And then once I figured out what I was going to do with the system, figure out what I was going to be running, then I'd have to tally up, okay, how many wattages is it going to take. Because obviously, if you only got 100 watts of solar, you ain't going to be able to do a whole lot. So you really got to pay attention to what you're doing and how much battery power you're going to need. So for me, I right now would say a portable power station, and then a good quality set of solar panels, and you'd be good to go, instead of messing with a power inverter and battery setup. Because if you don't know what you're doing, you could really hurt yourself setting up a solar station with batteries, power inverter. And since I don't know a whole lot about that, I would probably stay away from that. But if I did go that route, I would probably buy one of those kits that come with batteries and the whole 9 yards, which would be a little pricey. And oh no, as of what I'm thinking right now, this would be a cheaper route, would be the cheapest, safest route to go when it comes to setting up a solar setup. So yeah, if you like more of these videos, feel free to subscribe to my channel and comment below your thoughts, or if you're somebody that knows a lot about this solar setup, feel free to comment below your thoughts and what you think and everything. And if you like this video, give a thumbs up. And if you did learn something from this, I hope you did. Great. I hope I was able to educate you. I'm sharing what I know as I go along. Again, I don't know a whole lot. I'm just a beginner on this stuff, and I'm learning as I go along. And I thought I'd try to share my thoughts on this. And I hope you all have a good day, and thank you for watching. And again, I'll put down below some channels that I watch about this stuff. I'll put some YouTube links to channels that I watch on this stuff down below in the description. So, again, have a good day.